Good evening. You're watching news at 6 on Rajya Sabha television, where we get you the day's biggest news stories from India and across the globe, starting with the headlines. 9 more cities are chosen in the latest round of the centre's flagship Smart City mission. Shillong yet to submit proposal. Over 2 lakh crore to be invested in the project that Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri describes as fast-moving in terms of implementation. In fresh ceasefire violations, Pakistani Rangers target civilians in Sabha and Jammu districts on Friday across the international border and the line of control. 3 people, including a BSF Jawan, killed, 19 others injured. And a big setback for the Aam Aadmi Party. Election Commission recommends 20 of its MLAs should be disqualified for allegedly holding office of profit. Whole panel sends a recommendation to the President. Our top story this evening, Silvassa, Erode, Diu and Bihar Sharif are among the 9 cities named in the latest round of the Smart Cities mission. With the announcement of 9 cities on Friday, the total number of proposed smart cities has gone up to 99. Now, Silvassa in Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Erode in Tamil Nadu, Diu in Daman and Diu, Bihar Sharif in Bihar, Itanagar in Arunachal Pradesh, Bareilly, Muradabad and Saharanpur in Uttar Pradesh and Kavarati in Lakshadweep. 9 out of the 15 cities that sent the proposal qualify to be developed as smart cities after the completion of 4th round of fast-track competition. Now, Shillong was not included in the list as it failed to send the proposal. All the 9 selected cities have proposed an investment of 12,824 crore rupees that will impact 35.3 lakh people living in these areas. Now, till 17th of January 2018, there are 2,948 projects worth 1,38,730 crore rupees in various stages of implementation. 189 projects worth 2,237 crore rupees have been completed and implementation is underway in 495 projects at a cost of 18,616 crore rupees. As a priority section interventions, 36 of the 60 cities have already initiated smart roads and 30 cities have initiated integrated command and control projects. Additionally, 37 cities have initiated smart water projects and 44 cities have initiated solar projects. Architectural, placemaking and city beautification projects have been initiated in 40 cities. With the selection of these 9 cities, the total proposed investment in the 99 Smart City mission will be 2,03,979 crore rupees. So, different cities are in different stages of processing tendering for the competition of a Smart City mission. Speaking to Rajya Sabha television, Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs Hardeep Singh Puri expressed confidence that physical manifestation would be visible by June this year.
Joining me is Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs, Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri. Sir, 9 more cities have been announced. What has been the kind of work, implementation of project as far as Smart City mission is concerned in the 90 cities that were announced earlier?
The good news is that out of the 90, I think more than 83 have already got SVPs and have PMCs. Work is in progress. Now it's a question of the pace at which the tender execution is done.
What were the parameters on which these 9 cities were selected?
There is a criteria according to which all 15 bid. And many of these cities had actually applied in the earlier round also. But their bids somehow fell short.
Do we see the physical counters of Smart City mission?
I think you will see them within the next 6 months. My own expectation that even sooner.
Thank you so much for talking to us. From Delhi, with camera person D.K. Pandey, Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha Television.
And on to the other big story of the day. In a big setback for the Aam Aadmi Party, the Election Commission on Friday recommended that 20 of its MLAs be disqualified for allegedly holding office of profit. The poll commission has learned to have sent the recommendation to the president for his assent. Now, if cleared by the president, the disqualification would mean that Aam Aadmi Party's strength in the Delhi Assembly will reduce to 47 from the existing 67 in a 70-member house. The president is bound to go by the recommendation of the commission. Now, once the president approves the recommendation, by-elections will have to be held for the 20 assembly seats. In the present case, the petition was made to disqualify 21 MLAs, but one had resigned a few months back. However, there was no official word from the commission.
चीफ सेक्रेटरी की रिप्लाई में ये भी है कि जो कैबिनेट की मीटिंग्स हुई उन्होंने बैठे और जो एग्जीक्यूटिव डिसीजन लिए गए, कंपनीज को कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वगैरह दिए गए, कई सारे ऐसे डिसीजन जिसमें एमएलए का राइट नहीं होता वहाँ बैठे, उन निर्णयों को भी इन्होंने प्रभावित किया। कहीं ना कहीं सब जब आप निर्णय को प्रभावित करते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं से आपको प्रॉफिट भी होता है। प्रॉफिट खाली मॉनेटरी नहीं होता कि आपको पैसे मिल गया, प्रॉफिट के और भी कई सारे तरीके होते हैं, वो सारे इन्होंने प्रॉफिट लिए।
क्या कभी इन विधायकों के कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में रहने वाले किसी एक भी आदमी या महिला ने या किसी भी पत्रकार ने कभी देखा हो कि इन 21 विधायकों के पास कोई सरकारी गाड़ी हो या कोई इन्होंने सरकारी बंगला लिया हो या कोई बैंक की स्टेटमेंट हो, कोई अकाउंट बुक हो जहां पे ये पता चले कि इन विधायकों को 1 रुपए की भी तनख्वाह इसमें मिली हो? ये जो पूरी की पूरी बात है, इसको इलेक्शन कमीशन के आगे रखना था। अभी तक इलेक्शन कमीशन के आगे इस मामले की कोई सुनवाई शुरू ही नहीं हुई है।
And both BJP and the Congress party have demanded Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's resignation on moral grounds.
Morality of continuing in governance in Delhi with this kind of performance, half of them in jail, arrested and sometime went to jail, 20 disqualified, half of their ministers in fact resigned because of corruption cases. So do they still have this morality of governing over Delhi? मगर जैसे कि लोग कहते हैं, नैतिकता और अरविंद केजरीवाल जी का दूर दूर तक कोई संबंध नहीं है।
क्यों नहीं ये लोग इस्तीफा देते? क्यों नहीं? क्या इनको सत्ता का मोह इतना ज्यादा प्यारा हो गया है? आज हम लोगों की ये मांग है, आज हम लोग घोषणा करना चाहते हैं कि दिल्ली के अंदर, पूरी दिल्ली में कांग्रेस पार्टी केजरीवाल के भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ में आंदोलन चलाएगी और इसकी शुरुआत हम लोग सोमवार से हम कर रहे हैं। सोमवार को 12 बजे हम लोग केजरीवाल के ऑफिस में प्लेयर्स बिल्डिंग में हम लोग मार्च करेंगे और हम लोग केजरीवाल से इस्तीफा मांगेंगे।
On to the other big story of the day, the Ministry of External Affairs has reacted sharply as ceasefire violation by Pakistan continued for the second day in a row. Now, BSF Jawan and 2 civilians were killed as the Pakistan Rangers heavily shelled civilian areas and border posts in Jammu and Samba districts today. Heavy firing was also reported in RSTV, Kathua, Rajouri, Arnya districts of Jammu. Now, Indian security forces retaliated effectively to the firing. Jammu and Kashmir's Deputy Chief Minister Nirmal Singh assured safety of villagers who are staying near the border posts. Over 1,000 residents on the border have migrated from the area and the schools have also been closed here. Remember, on Thursday, a 17-year-old girl and a BSF Jawan were killed and 6 people were injured when Pakistan Rangers violated the ceasefire and heavily shelled BOPs and villages along the IB in 3 sectors of Jammu and Samba districts. Repeated Pakistani provocations have further diminished the chances of talks between the two nations.
Very strongly condemn the continued and unprecedented ceasefire violation by Pakistan, which has caused loss of lives and properties. Our sincere condolences to the families of those affected in this incident. You are aware that Pakistan violates the ceasefire as a cover to infiltrate terrorists across the border into India. We, of course, retaliate in such cases and will also take up the matter at appropriate level with the Pakistani side.
Our forces are well prepared, government is sensitive, and they are ready to tackle any eventuality on the border. To maintain the sanctity of the border, safeguard the borders of motherland, and at the same time, To stop the cross-border infiltration, unfortunately that has been happening. And we have been active and we have been giving the befitting reply whenever is required.
पाकिस्तान जो है वो अपनी कायराना हरकत से बाज नहीं आ रहा है और उसको बिल्कुल इसमें शर्म नहीं है जो मासूमों को मारने के। वहां पर हमारे कल 2 मंत्री जो है भारतीय जनता पार्टी के वो वहां पर गए थे, दोनों बॉर्डर के लोग रहने वाले हैं, आज भी वो जा रहे हैं। हॉस्पिटल में भी उनका पूरा जो है पूरा उनका जो इलाज का पूरा प्रबंध है, पूरी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है, वहां एम्बुलेंसेज हैं, बाकी सब कुछ वहां पर इन प्लेस है। लेकिन पाकिस्तान को पूरा जोर से जो है जवाब दिया जा रहा है और पाकिस्तान को इसके नतीजे भुगतने पड़ेंगे।
And Corporate Affairs Minister Arun Jaitley launched the National CSR Data Portal and Corporate Data Portal on Friday in the national capital. The National CSR Data Portal will act as a one-stop platform for dissemination of information on CSR expenditure made by companies. The portal will also bring transparency and accountability of corporate spending. Corporate Affairs Minister Arun Jaitley dedicated the Corporate Social Responsibility Data Portal on Friday. Intended to reduce the gap in the flow of information between companies and its stakeholders, the data analytics platform will have features like sectoral and overall expenditure analysis. It will also host a job match portal where companies will post their jobs in CSR and also for job seekers to apply for them.
It's now all open to public gaze. And being open to public gaze has its own advantages. It has the advantage that there is a pressure on everyone to make sure that compliances do take place.
As many as 5,870 companies spent around 9,553.7 crore rupees in the 2014-15 fiscal. The number rose to 13,625.24 crore rupees in 2015-16. 7,983 companies spent funds on CSR in 2015-16. The Corporate Affairs Ministry has given permission for penal action against 196 companies for violating corporate social responsibility norms.
Almost thousands, if not millions, of prosecutions under the Companies Act which were pending. So I had announced an amnesty scheme. And the funds we raised out of that amnesty scheme were used to create that entire electronic exercise.
Every company with a net worth of 500 crore rupees or more, or a turnover of 1,000 crore rupees or more, or a net profit of 5 crore rupees or more is required to shell out at least 2% of their 3-year annual average net profit towards CSR activities.
India is the first country in the world to have formulated rules on CSR by amending the Companies Act. CSR spending by large corporates can go up to 14,000 crore rupees, significantly augmenting government's social sector initiatives. Reporting from Delhi, with camera-person Raj Thakur, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on Friday delivered a lecture at the Institute of Socio-Economic Change in Bengaluru. He stressed on the need for formulating a long-term and medium-term plan to channelize public and private investment in agriculture in strategic directions and revitalize the sector. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also spoke of several government initiatives in this direction.
Flagging the problems of farmers, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on Friday described the situation as one that needs immediate attention. He said low income combined with falling productivity is making farmers lose interest in agriculture. The Vice President laid stress on a dozen initiatives in this direction to increase productivity to ensure adequate returns for farmers. These initiatives include use of quality seeds to increase productivity from 15 to 20%, balanced use of fertilizers, timely availability of institutional credit to farmers and promotion of activities like dairy, fishery and poultry, use of modern machines in agriculture, mechanization of horticulture and hill farming and promotion of agro-based industries to increase incomes of farmers, better use of water, ensuring fair value of yield and reforms in land policy, and developing better knowledge of agricultural practices according to climate change. Referring to initiatives like the Prime Minister Agriculture Irrigation Scheme, the Prime Minister Crop Insurance Scheme and Soil Health Card, the Vice President said farmers are getting better output and economic benefits. He also praised the role of Prime Minister Crop Insurance Scheme in animal husbandry. Rajkamal Rao's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And in a major development, the Australia Group today accepted India as a member. The admission marks the recognition of India as a credible atomic power with an impeccable non-proliferation record. The Australia Group is the third international organization that has given India entry into the World Nuclear Lobby, irrespective of the fact that India has not signed the Non-Proliferation Treaty.
India on Friday became the 43rd member of the Australia Group, a development that India says will benefit the global community's security and non-proliferation objectives.
I am happy to announce that India has joined the Australia Group on 19 January 2018, following the completion of internal procedures for joining this group.
Members of the group need to have a good track record of not transferring chemical or biological technology or weapon system illegally. They also have to check individually and as a group the trafficking of chemical or biological weapons.
India would like to thank each of the Australia Group participants for their support for India's membership. We would also like to thank Ambassador Jane Hardy of Australia, former chair of the Australia Group, for her role in facilitating India's accession to the group.
Last year, India became a member of the Wassenaar Arrangement and also got the MTCR membership in 2016.
India's entry into the group would be mutually beneficial and further contribute to international security and non-proliferation objectives.
India's admission into the Australia Group is expected to add more pressure on China to support India's demand for NSG membership. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And the United States has called for Hafiz Saeed's prosecution to the fullest extent of the law. Now this after Pakistan's Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi's earlier remark that no action could be taken against the UN-designated terrorist. Now earlier this week, Abbasi, during an interview to GeoTV, referred to Hafiz Saeed as a Sahib, and he further said that there is no case against Hafiz Saeed in Pakistan. Only when there is a case can there be any action. Hafiz Saeed, the chief of the Jamaat-ud-Dawa, was released from house arrest in Pakistan in November last year. The US has labelled JUD the terrorist front for the Lashkar-e-Toiba, a group that Hafiz Saeed had founded in 1987. LAT was responsible for carrying out the 2008 Mumbai terror attack that killed 166 people. The US said that the Trump administration expects Pakistan to do a lot more to address terrorism issues. Early this month, the US had suspended about $2 billion worth of security assistance to Pakistan, accusing it of not doing enough in the fight against terrorism. Let's get you all the action from the Australian Open now. An Indo-French pair of Rohan Bopanna and Eduardo Roger Vasselin entered the pre-quarterfinals of the Australian Open after defeating Portuguese-Argentinian duo of J. Sousa and El Mayer 6-2, 7-6 in the men's doubles. Rohan Bopanna and Vasselin will next face 7th-seeded Oliver Marach of Austria and Mate Pevic of Croatia in the pre-quarters. Speaking about the men's singles draw, top seed Rafael Nadal of Spain stormed into the fourth round after defeating Bosnia's Damir Drumhur 6-1, 6-3, 6-1. Nadal finished the game in 1 hour 50 minutes to reach the last 16. He will next face Argentina's Diego Schwartzman. In another match, third-seeded Grigor Dimitrov of Bulgaria beat Russian Andrei Rublev to reach the fourth round, and Dimitrov defeated Rublev 6-3, 4-6, 6-4, 6-4. Meanwhile, in the women's singles, fourth seed Elina Svitolina of Ukraine defeated compatriot Marta Kostyuk 6-2, 6-2 to reach the fourth round, while Croatia's Petra Martic beat Thailand's Lukasika Komkom 6-3, 3-6, 7-5 to set up a clash with unseeded Belgium Elise Mertens. That's all in this edition of News at 6. But news and updates continue on Rajya Sabha television. Thanks for watching.